The time is now 6:53 on this Tuesday morning, and here's what you need to know before you go.
A case involving an alleged assault on ICE agents on the Iron Range was thrown out in federal court. 19-year-old Jose Espinoza was escorted into federal court Monday following an alleged assault on a federal officer last Friday at Cazadores Mexican restaurant, which is inside the Thunderbird Mall in Virginia. Immigration officers say when they approached a vehicle suspected of transporting undocumented immigrants, Espinoza accelerated, injuring an agent's finger, then rammed a government vehicle. When prosecutors were asked to produce witnesses yesterday, they said none were available. The judge then dismissed the case, ruling the government failed to meet its burden of proof.
Tragic news for the College of St. Scholastica community. A physical therapy student died in a car crash and 2 others were injured last week after a ski trip with his classmates. Officials said 24-year-old Andrew Bjork died in the crash. In a GoFundMe, friends said he was an amazing and supportive friend and loved by all. The post said Drew and 2 of his classmates were returning from a ski trip in the UP when they crashed. The driver had a severe shoulder injury, and the other passenger suffered internal bleeding. Drew's funeral will be Saturday in Hudson, Wisconsin, and we have the GoFundMe on our website.
A Superior boy accused of shooting at Douglas County Sheriff's deputies entered a not guilty plea in court on Monday. 14-year-old Carson Peterson appeared shackled and in an orange jumpsuit in the Douglas County Courthouse. Peterson is charged with attempted first-degree intentional homicide after allegedly shooting at deputies last May outside his grandmother's home in the town of Superior when he was just 13 years old. Authorities say he was having a meltdown when they were called and responded. No officers were struck by the rifle fire, and they managed to arrest Peterson without returning fire as well. The not guilty plea means the case will move forward in trial.
A free boxing gym for young athletes is coming to Duluth. The St. Louis County Sheriff's Office boxing gym hopes to remove barriers to the sport for local youth. The Police Athletic League, or PAL, is a national organization that pairs law enforcement with local kids and teens. The head coach will be joined by boxers from other local law enforcement agencies and the community to run the free club located in downtown Duluth. Kids 8 to 18 are welcome. It opens next week, and the club is also looking for donations to purchase boxing gear.